Hey guys, Rob here at 3D Printscape. So if your prints are coming off the printer looking rough, stringy, or just ugly, there are 5 settings in Bambu Studio that can fix most of the issues. In this video, I'm going to show you what those settings are, what impact they'll actually make on the print, and whether or not you should use them for the individual print types. I'm going to be using these calibration cubes here for examples. I printed a start, so basically default settings, a final, and then individual changes that I'm making along the way so that we can illustrate what I'm actually trying to show you. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I went ahead and imported a test calibration cube. I also scaled it up so that it's 50 by 50 so that we have a little bit of size to work with. The first thing I want to show you before we jump into the changes is the current print time estimate. That is 1 hour, 15 minutes with the prepare time. I wanted to show that because some of these settings will impact the print time, so it's worth knowing what the default is to start with. The first setting I want to go over is the outer wall speed. So you can find that under the actual speed section. So if you don't have advanced select, so if it's on basic, go to advanced because you're going to need to switch over to get to some of the settings. And then go to speed, and you'll see you have your outer wall and inner wall speeds. Reducing these speeds really only has one downside, and that is it affects the print time. What I typically do is I start by reducing it by a third. So if the default speed is 60, I'll drop that to 40. You don't have to do the inner wall speed, but I typically do them both together. The main benefit here for quality is going to be the outer wall speed. I tend to do them both together. The results tend to be a tad bit better, maybe not quantifiable, but that's just what I do. So I'm going to change the inner wall speed to 100, and then we can go ahead and slice this. This by itself will make a pretty big difference on the external wall and how it looks, as you can see in this example here. And it does add a little bit of time to the print. The baseline was 1 hour, 15 minutes. It's now showing 1 hour, 27 minutes. So it adds, 13 minutes to the print time. But if you're worried about how the outer walls look and you're looking for smoothness, it's definitely worth the extra time. If the results still aren't where you would like them to be, you can drop this a little bit lower. So reset it back to the default and then drop it in half. So do like 30, 75, and that'll get a tad bit better. But I've noticed that once you get below around the 2/3 mark, the benefits aren't necessarily worth the extra time. The next setting I want to show you is the wall order. So by default, it's going to do the outer wall first and then the inner wall. Switching that will lead to better results on the outer wall. So visually, it does help a decent bit. So that setting is under quality. And then if you go down towards the bottom, you should see advanced, and then order of walls, switch it from inner/outer to outer/inner, and then go ahead and slice it. The impact on time is pretty much minimal. In this case, not enough to even track. The real benefit here is when you're printing the inner wall first, sometimes it can leave seams that are visible on the outer wall. So switching that up and printing the outer wall first prevents those seams from being visible on the outside. Those would be more visible from the inside of the print, but that doesn't necessarily matter because that's just where the infill is. And here's an example of the baseline versus just changing the wall order. You can see that it is a little bit smoother and overall cleaner on the outer wall. The next setting I want to go over is avoid crossing walls. So what this is going to do is it's going to minimize the number of times that the nozzle actually crosses the walls. It can't eliminate it entirely, but it reduces it pretty significantly by routing travel moves around the outside of the part when it's possible. This helps reduce scars, scratches, stringing marks, and sometimes it's in blobs on the surface itself. With minimal downsides. The biggest downside is it does increase the print time, which we'll show you here in a second. Adds extra travel distance, which is not a big deal, at least in my opinion. And it can increase stringing if you don't have the printer tuned correctly. So just keep that in mind. But that setting you'll find under quality, advanced, and avoid crossing walls. So go ahead and check that box. And the default settings from there are fine. And go ahead and slice it. And then from the results, you can see that it added only like a minute to the print time. And here's the results on the actual print itself. As you can see, it improved the outside surface quality a little bit with minimal impact to time or anything like that. And to illustrate what this is actually doing, I went ahead and turned on travel so you can see it in the preview. And then if we scroll down to the bottom here, the first couple layers, you don't really notice a big difference between the normal versus this. But when you start to get up to like the X and Y, you can see here that the travel is on the inside of the part as much as possible. Or if I was to disable this, the travel is on the outside a lot more because it's the quickest path. So that will impact the walls and stuff going through here where it's crossing over. The next setting I want to talk about is the variable layer height. It's important to note that this setting will impact models differently. So if you have more of a curved or rounded models, this is going to have a bigger positive impact than just a flat one like this. But that setting can be found actually on this top bar. So you got to select the part and then go to variable layer height. And then you can change the adaptive quality versus speed and then smooth versus not. So for example, if I select adaptive with the quality set higher than the speed, you can see what it's doing. On a print like this, it doesn't really give the best results because it's changing the layer height in specific areas, not the entire thing, like you can see here. But for some prints, it does improve the look quite a bit. So play around with it, see what works the best. If you switch it to smooth, I think it'll have a little bit better results on more of this flat surface like this. So just switch it to smooth. You can see the impact isn't quite as large, and I think it'll look a little bit cleaner than it did with it just changing the layers at those parts. But this is a setting I would check out for the particular print that you're working with. Not something I would necessarily say enable for every one of them. But if we go back to adaptive and slice it, it will have a small impact on the print time. As you can see here, the impact is about 2 minutes. And here's kind of a better visual of what I was talking about. You can see these are all even, and then these are going to be different. That's pretty visible on a part like this, and it doesn't necessarily look the best. So it's important to choose what makes the most sense for the model you're working with. If unknown and it's a smaller print, go ahead and give it a try, see if you like it or not. And the last setting I want to go over today is top surface ironing. This setting is similar to the last one where it might not be the best for every print, but the ones that it is good for, it can really improve. You can find the setting under quality, then go down to ironing, and then you would select top surfaces. And this setting does have a pretty big impact on print time. So if we slice this, you can see that it takes the print time to 1 hour 25 minutes. So adding about 10 minutes to the print. For this print in particular, it's not the best because it does the ironing on the Z, on the like the face of the Z here. So you can kind of see a slight layer difference on the outside of the print at that height, which I don't like. So I wouldn't enable it for this print, but for some it can be really good. There's also another pattern you can choose. It's concentric. If you're doing like a flex part where it's more rounded, the concentric will probably turn out better. But for most, the rectangular is the better option. That's why it's default. So for this print itself, I would enable 3 of the 5 settings that I just talked about. That would be the outer wall speed, the wall order, and avoid crossing walls. The other 2 aren't the best for this particular print, but they can be for others. So make sure that you try them out for what you're trying to print, and if it makes sense, use them. So if we go ahead and enable those 3, we'll go down to outer inner, avoid crossing walls, and we'll switch the speed up from 6150 to 4100, and then go ahead and slice it. The final results will take 1 hour 27 minutes, so about 12 minutes longer than the baseline. As you can see here, the results are a decent bit better. So if you're having issues with the outer surface, or you're worried about what it looks like for that particular print, I would go ahead and test out these 5 settings to see what makes the most sense for your particular print. All right, guys, as you can see, these 5 changes take like 2 minutes to actually make and can be the difference between an amateur and a professional looking print. Just keep in mind that not all of the changes are going to be best for every actual print that you're doing, so make sure that you adjust accordingly based on what you're trying to print. If you found value in this video or any of my other videos, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. And if you're going to be printing a lot of a particular unit, it's worth spending the extra time to test out the settings that work the best for it so that you can repeat those settings and get the best results overall. If you have any questions about what I covered today or would like to see any other videos, go ahead and leave a comment below or join us on Discord.